Coming up, Washington and Atlanta face off in Week 4. The Falcons have won the last 6 meetings, but can they make it 7 in a row? We'll find out next on EA Sports.
The weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather. And we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. A moment ago, here was the scene. The Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Washington football team. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for visiting Washington, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Versus 0-3. Will current form hold? We'll find out as we're off in Week 4. Taken at the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. They'll be led out by their 4th-year man from Houston. It's Kyle Allen.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing 1 interception. Didn't have a touchdown to offset it. But the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. The numbers on the ground for Gibson a week ago, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. On second down, here's Gibson again. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And here's a give to Gibson. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
He's going deep for Brown. And it's intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And the Falcons are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover. And the Falcon offense about ready to go to work here for the first time, and leading them as he has since 2008 is the veteran quarterback, former MVP, Matt Ryan.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Ryan. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. So they'll wind up losing 7 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Now it's Ryan. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Montez Sweat. He's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's Thomas Morstead now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Taking a couple yards. Now a hit and a loose football.
Come on now, let's go.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Gibson. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 40 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. And after his performance last week, everybody saw it. Unbelievable. You can expect a heavy dose of him again, I think.
Without a doubt. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because once you establish yourself that way, it's not just him, okay? It's his offensive line, it's the tight end, it's your wide receivers, everyone now sharing in the load and sharing in the belief that they do their job, they'll see another performance just like they saw the week before.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. A handoff for Gibson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
From the 10, 1st and goal. They'll run with Gibson. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll run. It's Gibson. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Washington with a football here to begin quarter number 2, as they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal. Gibson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in after report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And we see James, he will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. They go play action with Ryan. Being chased out left. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Now that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
On 2nd down, it's Patterson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
On first down, Ryan. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. That catch good for only a couple. 2nd down and 8.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And now Matthews couldn't really tell what happened there defensively, but he's still down.
They can't stop me out here.
While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 18. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 3rd down, here's Gibson. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Two minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. 75 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
Slings this deep from McLaurin. He's got a man complete. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, his second touchdown on the season. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now 14-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Ryan. Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Pitts. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Ryan. Right back to Pitts again. A good rally to the football. Keeps him to only a yard, and it's second down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
To throw again on second down. Ryan. And now he'll fire deep downfield for James. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And Charles, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
2nd and 10. To throw, it's Allen. He's going deep for Brown. That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
He wants it all for the end zone. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin as the first half is winding down. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's 3rd down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham, You have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. From the 30 on second down, Ryan. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Ryan. And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Final play of the half. It's Ryan. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We begin with the big matchup of the weekend. Andy Reid's current and former squads. Kansas City taking on Philadelphia. And it's been all Eagles in the first half as they lead at the intermission. Miles Sanders, the lone touchdown there as he's cashed one in on the ground. From there, let's head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home at US Bank Stadium. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Browns in that one. Nick Chubb with 2 touchdowns thus far. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last as we head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And that one all even as they play the visiting Carolina Panthers. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Washington. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. We're just about set to get back to it. Both teams making their final adjustments, and we'll head back to Atlanta and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. Here's Richie James on the return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
After the sack on first down, and pressure coming, and they got him once again. Jonathan Allen able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Now that's the way to start the second half. Back-to-back sacks. Whatever the halftime speech was, I hope they recorded it.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan. And the pressure gets to him again. Montez Sweat picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop, a man down on the return. We'll check on his status when we get back. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Pushing through the contact, and he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 98 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On first down, right back to Gibson. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far, but let's not forget about this running attack. They're pretty good, too, as evidenced right there.
And I think, Brandon, the fact that they throw the ball so well contributed to that touchdown, because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it is 28-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25.
Let's go.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Looking there for Pitts, but intercepted. Picked off by Bobby McCain. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand. They've appeared to be a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps to everything they've done. They've had an answer for everything this offense has thrown at them.
Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more.
Mike 54. Go, go, go.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Throwing now is Allen. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Allen will look to throw for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Washington goes for it, but it does not pan out. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat able to record his 5th sack of the season. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack as a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Got a man, it's Patterson, complete. And he'll be just shy of the 20 at the 19 as he goes out of bounds. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He'll take it at the 42. 35 yards that time on the punt, and this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
And pretty good running as he'll be close to a 1st down at the Falcons' 41. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Washington on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. 147 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And they'll run here with Gibson. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through, and he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Antonio Gibson taking it in from the 20. And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead. Well, they just continue to roll. And, Charles, for you and I, we want the close games, but for them, it has to be so nice to enjoy this big cushion.
I can't remember the last time we saw them play this loose and have this much fun. I think they'd love to be able to capture this game, carry it with them from week to week, and be able to execute like this in all the rest of their games.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and that makes this 35-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. And here now come the Falcons. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Ryan. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Ryan. This is to Pitts on the quick slant. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now it's Ryan. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. That's Deron Payne with a sack that time. And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I notice you used the word sparked because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Returnable here from the 38. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. A time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. And these highlights here showcasing the solid game he's had.
Well, someone woke up and felt good about themselves there, didn't they? I have to feel that he came into this one with the idea that, yeah, I can do this. Whether it's preparation, reading the film, whatever it was, it's paying off in a big way as we watch this one unfold.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards already. And some room to work. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, 50 yards. And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on. So that run there, yeah, I don't know if it's overstating things to call it a thing of beauty, but in terms of football plays, that's as good as you're going to see.
And how about the situation that we're in right now? Because this is the 4th quarter. So you know there's some tired legs out there on defense and probably some tired minds as well trying to chase guys around for 4 quarters. But this is where conditioning, athleticism, that separates the good backs from the great backs, and that was an A-plus effort right there.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. The extra point by Sly is up and good, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Atlanta regains possession of the football. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Patterson on the draw play. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
Well,
partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. Sly on for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And we see James. He will not return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Falcons offense set to go. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them. The coaches from all the way up here, they were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Second down and 3. From the gun, it's Ryan. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
To throw again is Ryan. James has got it, complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
To throw again on 2nd down. Ryan over the middle. He gets it to Patterson. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. So a victory here for the Washington football team. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Washington, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints.